Oh,
Wow, good evening, everybody, and we're live. Look at that. That was straight in there. That was a good one, Eric. That was.
oh,
Have
sure.
we got anybody in the chat, at the minute, guys? I can't, for some reason, I can't, chat's just not coming up on
One
my,
person, and I think that's me.
I
Still
never
trying to
see it anyway. I never
do
see
you
the
not?
chat. Are you on Facebook or YouTube?
Both, actually.
I'm on Facebook at the minute.
Ah, no, see, I'm looking at YouTube, so I don't see any chat.
I don't know what's happening with me. It was always on the right-hand column, but then all of a sudden it just, for some reason, it's not showing me anymore. Never mind. That's why I'm going to rely on young Eric to put his questions up at some
Good old
point.
Eric.
Yeah, well,
Good old Eric. So as you can see, everybody out there in the chat, if there's anybody out there in the chat, it can be speaking to nobody, of course. But as you can see, young Tim and young Eric and myself are here this evening, as usual, in the weird room. And we like to bring you all sorts of topics from around the world, and we like to concentrate mainly on things like the Fae or fairies for others those who don't know. Good evening, Nettie. I hope you're doing well. Lovely to see you.
and then my lovely wife.
Good evening, young Rita. Lovely to see you. Tim got a shock. He didn't know what you looked like. He didn't think you existed till last night.
No, I actually saw you. I actually saw you. You are alive.
So yeah. So I'm going to go around the things. How have you been, Tim? You had a good week?
Yeah, not too bad. We're planning a trip to Rendlesham on Saturday. We're going off to Rendlesham Saturday, a few of us.
Nice.
A lot going on there. We know a local chap called Alex. I can't remember his last name. But we're going to go. He sort of kind of lives up there, and
that's good. Always get a local.
I have been up there. I have been there before, but he's going to show us all the proper landing site. And
there's always if you can go with the local, it's always best, isn't it? You're always going to get of information with the local.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name now. Alex's first name. He's got got a podcast, but I can't remember. I'm senile, Dan. I've gone senile. I'm getting old, mate.
Oh, mate, I'm the same. Mind you, I've been like this for the last 10 years. Just gradually getting worse.
I'll become an old age pensioner next year.
It's nothing, is it? It's nothing. Nothing. Eric, how are you?
Good.
Let's move this a bit closer.
It's been all the 24 hours since I last saw you, mate.
You guys have been on a lot this week.
Yeah, I know. I think I did. Did I do? I didn't do Monday, obviously, because that's the Dark Mirror guys.
Yeah.
That's Mark and Wayne and Josh. But yeah, I did get Tuesday, Wednesday, and tonight.
Yep.
So it's becoming to the point that people want to see me that come on here because if Hazel wants to know I'm still around. Still alive, she has to look on there, make sure. But yeah, all's good. All's good. So good. So I'm glad you guys have had a good week. And we're going to get into it. We're going to go through the weird and wonderful, or into the weird and wonderful land of the Fae now. But we're going to talk about a particular type of Fae this week. We're going to discuss things like house elves or house fairies, house Fae. So this will be taking in things like goblins, hobgoblins. I think they're more Germanic, but they do sort of they do crop up here in a lot of our history and culture, and things like brownies and stuff like that. Brownies seem to be the one that is predominant in British culture. Hi, Nicola.
You see that?
In British culture and British magic, so they're the ones that seem to crop up quite a lot as far as our history is concerned. They seem to be the historic value of house elves or house fae for us. And there are quite a few people that still apparently have them living with them. Now, I always thought that the thing about house fae was you grow up with the story like do you remember the story like the shoemaker and the elves?
Yeah.
When he used to go to bed at night and his shoes would be out to be a mess, and he'd always be behind with doing his work. And then he'd get up in the morning and they'd all of a sudden it'd be, as if by magic, as it was, you'd have the elves come out and they would actually prepare the shoes, fix the shoes, and put them all out nice collectively and tidy up the workshop. Well, obviously that was house elves, but it is an English fairy tale. But it shouldn't really be elves. It should really be house brownies because those are the ones we have over here. And I found it quite interesting. There's lots of history and culture around them. So, for example, if you look at things like Harry Potter and you look at Dobby the house elf, that would have really been Dobby the house brownie. And the whole thing, I know that when she wrote the books, that a lot of the information, a lot of the stuff that she put into the books, into the Harry Potter books, was actually synonymous with magic. It was real things. So a lot of the things like the curses and a lot of the spells that she used were the proper words that people used to use in during magic. And it was the same with the house elf, but it wouldn't have been an elf. It would have been, as I say, it would have been a brownie. Now the thing about house elves or house brownies is there are fairies that act like Pokemon. Yes, exactly, in there, and we'll get to that exactly. The thing about the house elves or the house, I'm losing track of it now. I just lost. Do you know where your mind goes? You were talking about that earlier. What we said.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, mate, it's a continual battle that I'm fighting against. But the thing about the house brownies is that yes, they do. They used to give them gifts, but they always said never give them clothing, because if you give them clothing, they'll think that they've hit the jackpot and they'll just bugger off and leave you. So you want to avoid giving them stuff like that. So people used to leave out things like cream and honey for them. So they have something like nice to eat because they have a sweet tooth apparently. So people would keep them under their command by giving them stuff like that. So it was a mutual agreement. Hi, you're William. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, they were great little things. So you'd have them work around farms as well. And terrible now, I'll tell you, terrible now. So you'd have them working around farms as well. So they would work with the livestock there. They'd work with the horses. But apparently they become attached to the livestock. So if you to move on a member of the or you move on one of the livestock that they were particularly attached to, like a horse or a cow, they'd go with it. So you had to be careful if you wanted to keep them and you wanted them to be a part of your life and coexist with you, that you didn't transcend the boundaries of allowing them any way to get away or escape from you. Wow. Escape's probably the wrong word, because you wanted to keep them there on a mutual balance and agreement. But you also had to be careful, because if you piss them off, then they can convert into things called boggarts. And boggarts are the opposite of the brownie. So these things would then turn around and create all sorts of havoc, which is where Nettie was talking about the poltergeist activity. So a lot of the activity that people had with boggarts, obviously once they transcended or changed from brownies, would then be nothing but negative. So they could smash your house up, do all sorts of things, play tricks on you, just completely make your life a living hell. Hi, Robert, which is quite interesting, really, because I've always thought to myself that there must be that a lot of the activity that people say are poltergeist, I've always thought, I don't think it is. I don't know whether there are poltergeists, or I don't know whether it's faith that people are pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, and particularly say that, you know, prepubescent girls and that particularly pick up with them, young boys as well, but mainly girls. And you think to yourself, well, children have a very strong connection and a very strong understanding, and they can see these things and they deal with them. So when people talk about, oh, he's got an imaginary friend, and people say, well, I think it's a ghost. Well, is it a spirit, a human spirit, or is it a nature spirit? Is it actually that they're dealing with something that they think is a child, because it comes to them in the skies that is going to be most recognizable to them, and also they're going to be comfortable with? So is it a child or a spirit, or is it the spirit of the nature spirit? Is it a brownie or a member of the faith? So I think a lot of the stuff that people say is poltergeist and imaginary friends, I think a lot of it is probably to do with the faith. I think a lot of it is. But that's, you know, it's a cultural thing.
I think you're probably right there, Dan.
You know, and that's the thing, and I think that's how they can step between, because even though these things are spirits, even though these are nature spirits and energies, they can transcend the boundary between reality and the physical and the spiritual. And I think that maybe a human spirit couldn't do that, but maybe a poltergeist, what they perceive to be a poltergeist, is not, you know, it can't do that, but a fae could definitely do that. So that's why physical damage is causing properties and that, because they're pissed off for whatever reason. And that is why people say, well, you know what? I moved into that house and I had nothing but hell. But the family that moved in there after me, they've had no problem at all. So they might take an instant dislike to a member of the family. So it's a whole lot of things. They can be run out of their group, become outcasts, and make their ones people's own. Yeah, they can. They also apparently they can leave old buildings, like if their family's attached to a building, because their family's like everybody else, you know, their husbands, wives, and children. But apparently they have they can die as well. They have a life expectancy. So I've heard from some people, but it's double that of what would be considered our life expectancy. So, you know, if we live for, say, I don't know what, 80 years, they could easily hit 160. But their rate of growth and aging is slowed down massively compared to ours. So it's interesting. So there's lots of these different things going on. So what do you reckon? What do you guys reckon?
Well, you're talking about a creature that could live to 300-400 years old, you know.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We don't. I think we put too much emphasis on the spirit world as regarding the human spirits.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people concentrate on, well, you know what? There's more to this world than that, and we have nature spirits, and that a lot of it could be to do with that. And I think it is. I did an investigation years ago at a pub, and there was dark. They said it was dark energy, and I got the impression it wasn't dark energy. Not that I'm psychic or mediumistic. I'm not in the least. But something told me. I don't know how it was, but the energy there wasn't human, or there maybe was human energy there, but there was also a particular spirit that was dominant in the hauntings of this building, and it was a pub. And I started asking questions, and I was using the ghost box, and I was also using, and I had more luck actually with the EMF. And what it turned out to be, the answers we were getting through, is it wasn't human, but it was built in an old forest.
Mm-hmm.
So it was built on the land that was now, it was under the command or under the jurisdiction of this nature spirit, of this elemental.
Yeah.
And so when I asked questions about, are you an elemental, then it kept coming up, yes. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So that's what I think. I think a lot of the properties that we obviously today, and if you think about paganism, for example, which a lot of this is entrenched in paganism, and if you think about these are the old gods, you know, a lot of these things are the old gods, or the magic, you know, that paganism was built on. And I think if you think about it in terms of paganism, and you think to when paganism was at when it was at its pinnacle, the whole country was 98% forest.
Yep.
So you could move from one town or one village to the other. So these people that were pagans, of course they were pagans, because they were living in nature. So they were dealing with nature spirits all the time. So they had a better understanding of what was going on. And of course, as nature was then, as we evolved, call it that if you want, I don't think it is an evolution, but as we move forward, they retreated back into the shadows because we devastated their land. And then with the properties that we put on that land, they then inhabited. And I think that's where a lot of this activity comes from, which is why brand new buildings are haunted as well.
Well, you got to expect that, because not only are you running out wildlife in general, just by building everywhere, you're running out all those spirits that protect that wildlife and that land. So
yeah.
Of course, you're going to be a test.
Yeah. And that's the same with trees. I think, you know, trees are. We know that they're an intelligent living organism. The whole earth is, whether it be water, whether it be fire, whether it be a tree, whether it be a bush. These are living, breathing things, and they're an energy, a very strong force field. And I think that, you know, to be that, they need an energy, a spirit. And I think that those spirits are nature spirits. And I think that then what we see, people say, well, you know, I know a few people personally that really believe in fairies, actually live like fairies, no real fairies, sleep like fairies, eat like fairies. Do you know what, William? I believe in them completely. Absolutely believe in them completely. Which is when I go into a woods or a forest and I take something, even if it's something that's fell from a tree and it's dead wood, I'll always leave something behind as a kind of a trade-off or a thank you, you know. I used to have long hair, believe it or not, years ago. And if I went into a forest and I took something in the forest, I always take a small piece of the hair and leave it there because, you know, I could make use of that. Or I would leave bits of food or what have you in the forest. And even now, if I'm out and I'm eating something, I always deposit a bit of that food somewhere that's a little bit, you know, maybe the side of a road at a bush or something, because that's for nature to, even if an animal eats it, that's contributing back, you know, it's giving something back and showing appreciation.
Yep.
And I think, you know, I think if people lived more like that and they were more aware of the spiritual side and the spirits of nature, I think that people have a lot more respect for it. Something that we should be teaching in schools, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think just teaching your children, period, because like I said many times before, I grew up out in the woods. I got home from school, went out in the woods. On the weekend, I'd go out as soon as I was done with breakfast, out in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, our age group did.
Yeah.
We did, but they don't anymore.
No, they don't. And I think they're missing such a big thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like when we were growing up. It was like, you know, Sunday after breakfast, you'd be straight out with your mates, straight over the woods, running around, playing all sorts of games and just enjoying yourself.
Building dens and...
Building dens and, exactly. And they don't do that anymore.
It's gone mad, mate. It's, the connection to nature's slowly going, isn't it?
It is. It is. And
I must say, though, I sometimes pick my granddaughter up from school. She's about a mile away, and you can come through down the roads to get back, but she likes to go around there's a footpath that goes down from her school, comes back to here through it's not forest, but it's like a bit overgrown and such. And a few weeks ago, we walked back that way, and she said, I like it this way, Pat, because she calls me Pat. That's why in Northampton, you're not Grandad, you're Pat.
Okay.
Nan and Pat. Anyway, we walk back, and she says, I sometimes speak to the fairies down here this way with my dad. My dad takes me this way. And I thought, oh, look, do you? What kind of fairies? And she says, they're just little fairies. We have a little chat sometime. And, you know, I thought that was so lovely.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And then we come out and we get back in, and then she's on her game then. But she, at least, she's 8. I just so hope it don't go. Do you know what I mean?
No, and I think once that seed's there, I think it tends to stay there, doesn't it? And it teaches them respect for nature as well, doesn't it? Because it's, you know, it's an indisputable fact that nature's a living thing. This is a living, breathing thing, you know. And we're part and parcel of or we're a cog, a small cog, but we're a part of it. And I think the problem with people is a lot of them have forgotten that, particularly the way their kids growing up now, not having any contact or anything to do with the outside world, to do with nature.
They ain't got a clue.
And they're losing it.
Yeah.
You know? It's like I always say, nature never moved away from us. It was us that moved away from nature.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we chose to move apart. And that's the thing. I think that if people were to spend more time in nature, then they would start to experience the magic of it and see these things.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you know what it's like when you go for a walk in the woods, and you boys will know, when you're feeling a bit crap or down, you go for a walk in the woods, all of a sudden you're lifted. You're lifted, aren't you? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like all the endorphins and everything's been injected in it, and you know you're happy, you're elevated, you feel light. It's great. And that is because you're where you should be. You know, and I think that what you're doing, the energy, the spiritual energy from that environment, you're part of it anyway, and that's what you're doing. You get like people say, I want to get recharged, so I'm going to go out to the country for a few days, or I'm going to go for a walk in the woods.
Yeah,
recharging yourself.
And the problem is too is that people don't stop and listen. When you're out there, you got to listen to what's going out around you.
Yeah. Sit and meditate on it, and just sit and listen.
And that's the best. You know what? The best thing you can do when you're in that type of environment is be quiet, and just sit there and absorb it, because it does. It elevates you. It recharges you. It really does. Yep. I mean, I've gone into the woods completely pissed off with whatever, angry, annoyed, or just feeling down, and, you know, and then after half an hour, come out whistling.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, oh, that's great, and it makes all those problems in the world seem small and insignificant because they are compared to
they are.
That,
well, that's where we should be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the same with the spirits. I think the nature spirits there, they pick up on that, and it's like the whole thing with what was I looking at things up? I think I mentioned it the other day about the trees. Did I mention that about the movement of the trees?
No, you're talking.
People asking to be touched by these trees, and all of a sudden these trees have been.
Yeah.
See the branches.
Yeah, on a different show. And,
and I sound like a bloody hippie. I suppose I'm really in a way, but I like to hug a tree. I like to hug a tree. It's great.
Yep.
Great. It's just a lovely feeling you get from it, And I think that they impart their energy back into you. And a lot of people say, oh, I've seen, I remember reading a paper years ago, and there was a woman saying that she'd come across these trees and she'd started to see people in them that looked like elves and stuff, but they were quite large. They were sort of adult size. Oh, yeah, me and all, Nettie. Me and all. And I got to thinking about it, and she said, it was a nature spirit. And I'm thinking, what you've actually seen there, you've seen the spirit of the tree. You've seen it, and you've probably seen it in the way that you would most recognize it. But you've seen that spirit of that tree. It's not that you're seeing a nature spirit that's attached to it. You're actually seeing the soul of that particular tree. And I think, and that's it. And that's why I do wonder, getting back to the whole thing about elementals and stuff. And people say, well, we've seen these cryptids and we don't know where they've come from. I have got a sneaky, and it's only a suspicion, I could be completely wrong, but I've got a sneaky feeling that the access is through the trees. That's the portal. That's the dimension. It's through the tree.
I do know, and I found out by doing some research that if you change the vibration that you're at, you can pass through parallel worlds.
Yeah. It's all about vibration, isn't it? It's all about
28
vibration. Yeah. It's all about that. And I think, I've seen people do experiments with sound, brown sound, green sound, blue sound, white noise and stuff. And they've had really good results. I wouldn't even know where to begin with it. But these people have obviously studied it for a long time. And I've been, I'll tell a lie. I've been in their presence, but I've got a friend who was in their presence. And he said to me, some of the doorways it opened.
Oh, yeah, they
spectacular. He said spectacular. He said, we got direct communication with things because the way this woman utilized
the Hadron Collider here. I don't know. I think it's in Switzerland. It's not in America. I keep saying America, and it's not. I think it's in Switzerland.
I'd love that.
Ended up opening the doorway to communicate with another parallel world last year, I think it was.
Yeah, see, and is that what the government are doing? Are they out there? They're also, because they're not stupid, are they? World governments,
no,
and they recognise that this is a way to opening dimensions, and by buggering about with the. I know it sounds conspiratorial and mental, but I've always thought in the back of my mind, that Hadron Collider is not being, what they're telling you is built for, it's not built for.
No, it's not.
That's built for an entirely different reason.
It's the same collider that proved that we can travel forward in time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And I think to myself, is that being used for nefarious reasons such as opening dimensions? Has it been used as a portal? And is it what they're doing starting to bugger about with the fabric of the world? Well, so they're opening portals left, right, and centre everywhere, which is why the government aren't actually breeding these creatures. These creatures are bleeding through from different dimensions or spiritual realms, But but anyway, getting back to the Bogarts and the brownies and stuff, it's just. What's that, Mr. Days? We would sit in the woods and just.
No, you can still do that. You can still do that now. You can still go and do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back
that. Do you like butter? The buttercup under the chin. Do you remember
that? Yeah. You can still do all that. There's nothing changed. It's still there.
There's no age cap on that.
Well, yeah, you just gotta
no
not care
age
what
gap
other
on
people
that.
think of you when you do stuff. I mean, that's the way I live life, and that's why I'm so happy all the time.
And that's the right way to be.
Mhm.
Go on, mate.
I told you when I took Emma through the woods when I lived in North Devon and she saw a fairy, and that changed her life, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, I've watched podcasts and I've watched programmers where the most respected of people that are, you know, I mean, academics and that have come out and they've said, yeah, you know, I've had these experiences. I don't think the governments are intelligent. It took 3 days to get one Superdome. Yeah, that's true. I think they're intelligent in what they want to be. When it comes to dealing with the
after
human race, they're not that bothered.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate them so much, Dan.
Oh,
anyway, I probably
see any
shouldn't be
reason for
saying
them.
that on
Had
the
to nip
show.
away for a few minutes and Mr. Start the convo, just a daisy chaser. Yeah, we're just talking about, you know, do children still go out into the woods and stuff, or out into the nature and make daisy chains and stuff? And as Tim pointed out, if you don't stop doing it. You can do it whenever you want, which is right.
Yeah.
You know,
it's nice. I made this point the other day to somebody was talking about, well, why does the government keep, you know, the fact about Bigfoot and other dogmen and other stuff away from us? Because if you knew the absolute truth, and everybody did, it would cause mass panic.
Yeah.
And why does it cause mass panic? Because some people can't handle it, and then they go out there and try shooting these things with guns, and that causes mass panic and gets other people killed.
Yeah. So. And then you've also got people that have told you, like the national parks of America, which are absolutely, you know, for bringing money in, they're second to none. And people are going to, I'm not going there, I'm not bringing my family there. And then they become desolate and empty because nobody wants to go there. So they lose revenue there. So they're not going to want to disclose what's happening, are they?
No.
You know, it's all about the bucks at the end of the day. It's all about money. But, you know, it's I think that's the thing. I was watching a program a while back. It was a podcast. And I can't think of the fellas. It's Sheridan. Might have been Sheridan. He's an Irish fella, very good. I do like him, and he's very forward. I don't think he wears falls gladly, and he's straight. He talks straight, and I like that about him. And they was asking him a question about a lot of the Fae and a lot of that. Why do people not experience them anymore? And he said, well, people do experience them. He said, you don't tend to experience them in cities and towns anymore because the pollution of the electricity that we use interferes with them. So if you really want to experience these things, you need to go out into the middle of nowhere.
Well, because
I think somewhere desolate.
Because I think power lines create a sort of a Faraday cage where all that energy is trapped in one spot. So that's why I think they don't like cities and towns.
No, exactly. And is that why governments are building more and more things like G5 towers and all these type of things, because it's easier to control whatever's out there in the environment.
It could be.
You know, it could be part of it.
I know there's certain parts of our national forest that you're not allowed to go into.
That makes you wonder why, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, I love the idea of having. How great would that be to have a load of little fae living in your house?
That'd be awesome.
You know,
yeah.
But they were saying it's not that a lot of people think that the thing about these fairies is that people say, well, you know what, things like the boggarts and stuff, not boggarts in particular, but things like the fae that live in your house, they've got this fairy tale image that they go around and tidy up and clean and do X, Y, and Z, and it's not that at all. The reason they're there, the true reason is there, is because what they do is they clear the negative energy in a property. So they keep a harmonious balance with the property. So that means that the people that then live in that property can live a more harmonious life. So they clear the negative energy, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, it is. Well, think about going back to the Harry Potter comment you made a while ago. There's actually a part right at the beginning with the care of mythological creatures, which should be a thing that people learn to take care of what you have around you.
Yeah. And it's just intriguing. It's intriguing. I mean, I know, and I'm saying there's lots of people that are academics that, you know, wouldn't put themselves out on a limb, that have actually come out on a limb on these podcasts and programs and said, yeah, you know, I believe in them completely, and I've had this experience, and I can't tell you what, I can't explain what this was, but I put it down to members of the Fae, and I think it's good, because I think what happened with the 1950s and 60s, well, 40s and 50s really, the nuclear age, is that our advancement in technology was so increased that we forgot about the natural world for a bit, and we thought, oh, you know, it's all, that's right, the answer's this is the answer, technology, science, this is the answer, and we lost that connection, because for thousands of years prior to the 50s, we were all about the natural world.
Yeah,
you know, it was all about, people were still, you know, telling tales and stories to each other about these magical creatures.
Yep.
You know, and that all of a sudden just tend to die off. And now you're seeing a lot more of it now, which I think is a great thing. But it would be nice to see more children out there enjoying the environment, enjoying the outside world. You know, enjoying themselves and that. Because you, like you're saying, Tim, you don't really see it now, which is heartbreaking, really. And it's sad as well. And you think, well, if that's their future, what's the future of their grandchildren? They're not going to have any connection with it at all.
And the only problem with that is either we're going to get so advanced that electricity is everywhere for free, or we're going to go back to another Stone Age.
I think we'll destroy ourselves in the end. I think we'll destroy ourselves in the end. And as long as it doesn't affect the natural world, would that be the worst thing?
No, totally agree.
Don't think it would it? It wouldn't really. No. Because the thing seems to tick along just fine without us. I think we're the only creature on the planet that the planet doesn't need.
Yeah.
Which is telling, isn't it, really? That's quite a telling thing.
But you know, even you know, when we had the COVID.
Yeah.
Not allowed to say that. But anyway, when that all happened, even in that short space of time, nature changed apparently, didn't it?
Didn't it just? It repaired itself really quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, within a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you had, didn't you? And I remember thinking to myself, this is amazing. You'd go out in the morning, air was fresher, because there was no planes flying, was there?
No cars, no planes.
No planes.
Yeah.
And then it was just phenomenal. And then you'd like pick up a news article, and you'd see things like deer were coming into the towns and people ran feeding them.
Yeah.
Foxes were coming into the towns, badgers were, and it's like, this is the way it should be, isn't it?
In just that little short time.
Yeah. You think this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. So it does go to show you, doesn't it, that nature will quickly repair itself and it will claw back what is it what it owns.
Yeah, it reclaims it. You see these old, like where the reactor was in Russia and that, where that went pear shaped and that. I know you're getting odd sort of creatures around there apparently.
Yep.
But the wildlife just takes over so quickly.
Unbelievable. And as I say, nature's nothing better at repairing itself than nature.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something beautiful about it. There's something beautiful about when you see something that's a man-made structure that's in decay and nature's claiming it back. It's really quite beautiful to see.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
We do a little bit Verbex and we go off to these. There's an old shoe factory near us.
Oh, Northampton's spot on for shoes, isn't it?
It's in Earthlinborough, and it's I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook, but there's some really lovely steps going up into this shoe factory, but it's sort of overtaken with shrubs and pines, and it's all going in, and it's pushing out through the roof.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's just reclaiming the whole building.
And that's amazing, isn't it? That's beautiful itself. That shows you it's healthy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That nature's starting to reclaim it all back again. And you think that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be, you know. When you look back and you think, like, going back to the sort of 13th and 14th century when it was like all forests and woodlands in the UK.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you think yourself, it must have been amazing.
Yeah.
Must have been amazing to live in that environment. And of course, you know, people would have experienced a lot more activity from the Fae then, because they'd have been completely right in the middle of their home territory, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Walking around woods and forests at night, you know. But
yeah,
it's sad. It's sad that a lot of the kids and that have lost that connection with it, and it'd be nice to get it back. You know,
it really
it'd be nice
is.
to get it back.
It
So
really is.
Anybody who's got grandchildren or children or whatever, you've got to get them out there into that environment.
Yeah,
Let them just enjoy it. You know, let them just enjoy it. And it's a safe environment, isn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's safer than sitting in front of a computer screen, bloody burning your retinas out.
I know.
You know, but so that's that's the thing about the Fae and that, and there's lots of different types of Fae that are attributed to living indoors. But I guess it depends on where you are globally as to what they're called or how you recognise them. Germany, I spent a lot of time in Germany over the years, and they're big on things like trolls and goblins and stuff like that. That's sort of really where they're entrenched in it. And it's amazing, isn't it? Because globally, all these different places on the planet have got their version of it's the same thing, but it's got a different name or a title to it. And, and it shows you, doesn't it, that everybody, no matter how remote they are experiencing or having experiences with these things.
Yeah.
With these elementals, which is cool itself. And that just gives you verification, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As I say, people still use them in old magic and what have you, and witchcraft and stuff. People still adhere to them and listen to their rules and regulations and live by them. So it's good. It's good that there are still a lot of people out there keeping the channels open to deal with them. So, and I encourage anybody to maybe not get involved with them, but to keep an open ear and an open eye and an open mind as to them being out there.
Well, one of the things I want to do next year is go to that forest.
What one do you want to go to? There's loads.
I don't know how to
Rendlesham.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's with Tim's going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Saturday, yeah.
Oh,
You've been before, Tim, haven't you?
I have been before, but we didn't have a lot happen, but we've done the UFO trail, which is about 3 or 4 miles round, but it's not the proper landing site, apparently.
Yeah.
No, it's not at all, is it? It's somewhere else in there, isn't it?
Yeah. The people I'm going with on Saturday are going to show me where it really is. But the only thing it was last February on my birthday we went, and we was going, and it's all laid out. It's all like cinder, but which was good because my previous partner, she was in a mobility scooter, which meant she could do the whole thing.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. So, but we went round one bit, and like when you're standing on a path and a lorry, a big juggernaut goes past you.
Yeah, you get that wind stream.
And you get that.
Yeah.
That happened on the footpath we was on.
What, you had that wind tunnel go past you?
Yeah, like that. And that was the only thing that happened on that visit, yeah.
Did your partner at the time, did she realise
she felt it too, yeah. Yeah, she felt it, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because apparently there's some of the locals there that say that UFO activity that was registered there is the tip of the iceberg of what goes on there.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff. They reckon there's a lot of nature's creatures in sort of elementals and stuff in there.
Yeah, there is. I'm actually on a podcast tomorrow night because we're going Saturday with this chap Alex who lives there near there.
Yeah,
he's witnessed so much stuff.
That's the beauty. When you live there, you're gonna, and the more you go, the more you're gonna notice, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty. So he must be quite the. Is that his sort of sole area of dedication now? That actual forest.
Yeah, he goes there a lot. He's seen German soldiers in there.
You're joking.
In World War II German costumes.
Really?
Was there what you call it there? Was there like a camp or anything there then?
He don't. Pardon?
There was no camp there or anything. No prison camp.
No, they were in German uniform, like SS.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's seen shadow figures and all kinds of things. Yeah, orbs and flying saucers and Christ, everything.
Has he experienced this stuff himself then, apart from the German stuff?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And the thing is, as well, the more I find, and you probably do yourself, guys, that the more time you spend at an area that is purportedly haunted, and if it is genuinely haunted, which a lot of them are, it starts more. It's kind of recognises you after a while.
Yeah,
it starts to open up to you.
Exactly. We were talking about this yesterday. St. John's, ancient St. John's, where we go a lot. When you come up, you must come up for your tattoo.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll go up there. It's only 20 minutes from where I am here. They know me now.
They genuinely do.
I'm not being stupid. They do. And I go in.
Do.
There's a little girl called Emily, and we'll go in, and she's not far inside. And a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Tony, it's a girl, a girl. She's had her trousers tugged like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, like a child.
Yeah, 10-year-old child. Yeah, and it's like they're actually pleased to see her. You know, communicate with you, and because we've been there, so you're dead right. Because we've been there so many times. You know, they and we don't ask stupid questions.
No, that's the thing. That's living or dead, they're going to go. I'm not having this.
Light the ball up.
That's it. Yeah.
No, oh my God! They want to know. They want to know. They're people. They want to know proper things that's going on. They want to know. Ask them questions. Find out what period they lived in when you've done your research. Go there a lot. Find out the period they lived in, and ask them about things of their period.
Yes.
Not lighting balls up and crap.
No, I always used to start. A lot of the time, I would start with, I don't know what time period you're from, but I really am a history buff, and I want to speak. It's good to speak to you because you're from the spirit realm, but I really want to speak to you because I'm interested in your life, and who you were, what you did, and who your family were, and what memories you have. You know, I want you to converse with me like a person.
Yeah,
because they don't want like how many of you are. Can you do this? Can you do that? How many dead people are there? It's like,
yeah.
But it's true. It's true. And I think the thing is, when I've done pubs or buildings over the years, and I've always wanted one of the, like I've said to them, and you know, as the barmaid, they're a landlord or a landlady, would you come do this with us for a little bit? Because they know you, and they're more likely to deal with you to answer questions from you than they would from me, particularly if they recognise you now, they're comfortable with you, and they know that you can talk to them. Yeah, and we'll get our answers that way.
I just say you can play with my skull.
There you go, play with the skull. There you go. And that's I think they probably laugh at things like that when we turn up with skulls and bones and stuff like that.
People keep calling it Eric, so I don't know.
But yeah, you need to treat them like human beings.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's the thing. It's about respect as well, isn't it? Do the balls line up, not give an indication there is spirit about yes, no answers.
Yeah, you can use it like that, but ask sensible questions and relevant.
And then
questions.
when you get a conversation going and they get answers to questions asked, you know you're onto something. Then you're like, oh, okay, this is proper, this is royal.
Yeah.
Not only that, just don't use one ball for a yes or no answer. Use two. Touch one for yes, one for no. If you have to, take a big piece of tape and write yes in front of one and no in front of the other.
Yeah. They're a good device, but you've got to use them. You don't just say light up that ball and you know.
Oh, it drives me mad. It drives you. There you go. And you sit there and you listen to them, and I think to myself, I get a bit depressed, and I think they must have heard this question every week for the last 20 years. And they must be like, I'm not going to. Do you know? No wonder they won't become active. I wonder what the easiest way for spirit to communicate. Do you know what, Lorna? If I knew that, we'd be a fortune.
Nobody know. I mean, you get some that can shift things and full body apparitions.
Yeah, yeah.
Mind blowing. But it's so interesting, isn't it?
It is interesting. It is interesting. And I think that the same methods that we use to communicate with human spirit, I think we can use that to communicate with nature spirits as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I think right across the board, you know.
Well, but when you're talking to a nature spirit, you go, do you protect this forest? Or, you know.
Yeah, I just say, you know, thank you very much. It's like, you know, this is absolutely beautiful. It must be wonderful. Just like nice, you know. I mean, of the equipment, most popular, you like balls, spirit box, etc.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It depends on some nights it can be one, other nights it can be another. It might be a case that one works better with particular spirits, or one spirit's happier to utilize or use a particular piece of equipment. It all depends, I think, what they're happy with.
Yep.
I mean, like lights and stuff like that, and REM pods and that type of stuff, always good, aren't they? Because they're great for picking like bits of information up on. You know, you're on the right track.
Definitely.
You know? But I don't throw any ideas out or anything. I think, you know what, because it doesn't work here, doesn't mean it won't work anywhere else.
Yep.
It's like when people turn up at a purportedly haunted building and they come away and go, yeah, I used to work with a guy like that. Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing there. It's not haunted. And you think, well, you've only been there for 7 hours.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do you know what I mean? If you went there every week and they became used to you, you might get a different experience.
Well, we're almost done.
We're almost done, Catherine. You turned up late, Catherine.
20 minutes. Yeah. So you have plenty of time.
It's always good to see Catherine.
Yeah.
It's always lovely to see Catherine. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's.
Have you heard of? Do you know about Salsey Forest? You've heard about Salsey Forest?
What one's that?
Well, it's in Northamptonshire. It's like you can actually see it from the M1.
Right.
Northampton. There is there's an oak tree in there called the Milking Oak.
Right. I haven't heard of this forest.
You not heard of Salsey Forest?
No.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's another
Hazel, because Hazel went to university in Northampton, so.
I bet she has.
She must know, yeah.
The milking tree is actually what it means. Like in medieval time, it's 6.5 meters round.
What? Round?
Yeah. 6.5 meter girth tree, and obviously now it's surrounded by other trees, but it was in medieval times where they used to go and milk trees under it to get the shade. Not milk trees, milk their cows. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let's go milk the cow. That's another place. Now that is a place that we have got to go and investigate. And I totally forgot about it till today, because the amount of energy that must be around that.
God, can you imagine the amount of people the conversations that went on under that tree?
Yeah.
Bloody hell! That
is going to have to be on my list. There's a picture of it on my Facebook. I reposted it the other day. It's 6.5 meters round, and it's an old oak tree.
Bloody hell! What was it? The Salsey Forest.
Salsey
Forest, Northampton.
You can get to it off the M1 junction 15 is probably the nearest.
Well, I'll give us a shout when you go there. I'd love to see the tree.
Yeah,
please. Big place. Really love to see the tree there. That sounds amazing.
I'll send you a picture of the tree.
Yeah, please. That sounds amazing.
You can feel the energy around the thing.
Oh, can you imagine the history it's seen?
Yeah, I know.
It's true. You sit under them trees, don't you? And you look at them and you think to yourself, the amount of people and the different experiences that were had under this tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I always think that when I see a big old tree, I think, yeah, what have you seen? You know, it's probably 800-900 years old.
Yeah, it's amazing. There was a thing I saw today. It was on Facebook. I think it came up actually. It was about this door in an old church, Norman church, and they saying the door's over 1,000 years old.
So it's Salsey, S-A-L-S-E-Y. No, SALCEY. Saltsea. Saltsea.
I
Yeah.
have to do something real quick, so I'm going to stop my cam.
That's interesting, isn't it?
SALCEY, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
How big's that forest then, Tim? Is it big? I bet it was massive at one point.
It is big. It is big. It's got lots of roads crossing it now, but it was obviously huge.
I wonder. I always
It's
remember
supposedly very haunted. But I think this tree would be a good spot to go.
Yeah, definitely. Think of the energy under it. Don't pick it off. Leave it there. God, that's phenomenal, isn't it? That's absolutely amazing. I remember the one story I remember about Northampton. I remember reading years ago. One of the books was, I think it was Haunted Northampton, and it was about the guy on the spirit on a push bike going up a hill. You heard of that one?
No.
I'll have to dig it out and see if I can find it again.
We've got loads. I mean, Delapre Abbey is a phenomenal place to go.
There's loads of stuff at Delapre Abbey.
That's where you showed it on when I first met you guys.
That's right. Yeah.
Put it on. We've put it up on that thing. But there is supposedly sightings of a. I don't know how they know, but they call her a female dog woman, I suppose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sightings of that around that area. So I don't know.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? It's intriguing, isn't it? It really is. It really
down
is.
Rabbit holes again, haven't we?
We always do. Always do. But
see,
yeah,
it connects up. That's the thing. It all connects up all the time, and that's where we are.
It does. It's all one big web, isn't it? It's all one big web. It's all interconnected to each other.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle, isn't it? You find a little bit and you put it there and you put it in, and you find out all of a sudden, oh, that bit's actually related to that bit.
No worries. It's SALCEY.
Yeah, Westminster Abbey, that door, 1,000 years old, over 1,000 years old.
Was that the one with the claw mark in it?
No, that's in Suffolk. That's the one with the okay. No, that's Norfolk. That's the one with Shuck. Black Shuck.
Yeah.
Fucking nipples, mate.
I don't know what you. Yeah,
Hi, Noreen.
Noreen's post on Facebook, they blow my mind. I tell you, they're so good.
What's been Noreen been putting up? Filth.
No, she just puts funny posts up. They're just brilliant. Funny and interesting posts up on the Facebook.
I like the Facebook lately. There's lots of positive vibes on there at the minute, isn't there?
Yeah, it depends how you filter it, doesn't it? You can You can find good stuff, which I do.
Yeah, there's lots of people saying good morning and have a good morning. I think that's good. That's nice.
It's nice. It's nice.
That's nice.
You know, filter it right and pick the right people and.
Yeah, exactly that, isn't it? You know, there's so many people on there that were. Luckily enough, I'm not connected to anymore. But so much negativity used to be on there.
Oh God!
But now it's like, and life's too short for that crap, isn't it?
Oh God!
You know, you want to go through life and enjoy it and make it as peaceful as possible. You don't want to go through life feeling pissed off because somebody said something on the internet that hasn't got any relevance.
No, you get people arguing on there who don't even know each other.
No. You go. I had a couple once arguing in my friends' chat with each other. It's like I thought I could step in here and say something, or I could just let them get on with it. I'll let them get on with it. So now we've come to the end of the road. So tomorrow I'm going to go through what we've got. Tomorrow is Nettie. What is up with me? I can't remember the name. I'm getting terrible, Tim.
She's Noreen. Hey, I'm the worst. I'm the oldest, remember?
I'm terrible, mate. I'm terrible.
I'm the oldest.
Freaky Friday. And they're doing
Freaky Friday tomorrow we've got young Ian, we've got young Bright, and we've got the ever so lovely and young Nettie. And it's a good one on Friday. Really enjoy it. Love listening to it. A couple of them I've missed, but I've always got them catch up. I've only had poor man sandwich today. Crackers of lunch. Oh, lovely.
Luncheon
About
meat.
to go scare the shit out of people somewhere else. Be sideways and call me mumsy. This is going to be fun. Have a good night, though. Have a good night, Catherine. Freaky Friday. Thanks, Nettie. You know I need as much help as I'm getting old and doddery now. So that's good. So tomorrow night, I always listen to someone catch up. Always interesting. Always good fun. Just really good. It's a good way to start the weekend, actually.
Yeah.
I think I found it by chances. Oh, is that the tree you're about, Lorna? Is that what you're about, Lorna? Sorry.
I don't know.
So that's that. William's not on Saturday night. No, Timmy.
Timmy. Hey, I'm an old age pensioner next year.
Thanks, Rita. Bless you. And then Saturday, I don't think William's on Saturday, is he?
Freaky Friday should be on the same channel that we're on right now. So and YouTube.
Freaky Friday.
It
Yes,
should be on
it's on this. It's on. Yeah, it's on here. It's on the Simply Spooky channel.
Yep.
So you can get it through Facebook or Lorna. So yeah, and then Saturday I don't think William's on, and then Nettie's back again on Sunday with lots. Oh God.
Yeah,
Something
Simply
like-
Spooky.
That's it.
Simply
That's it, Lorna.
Spooky.
So Nettie's back on Sunday with Bry, and then on Monday the boys from the Dark Mirror show are back on, and then it's a round robin again. I think I'm on again all next week as well. So,
Yeah, you are.
Are ya?
yeah,
Bloody hell.
I'm on every day next week, so that'll be good. So we'll go from there. Is it
Yeah,
not
it's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube on a catch up. Yeah, it's on there. It's on Lorna. It'll be on YouTube. Does it upload straight away, Eric? Do you know?
What? They should be using the YouTube part of it. I don't know.
No, I can't find it then. Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah, try to
I'm
use
sure they
Shadows
can
of
write
Light.
on
Thanks,
something.
Letty. You go slap me when you think that's ignorant bastard, Dan. I'll come next week. Yeah, that's cool. Cool, Catherine. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it for the night, boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hope you've had a good night. I've had a good night. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable as always. Next week we'll pick a subject for next week. Do you want to pick one for next week, Tim?
Yeah, I thought I might do, because I'm going to Rendlesham Saturday.
Oh yes,
I thought we might have a little report of what went on.
that's
maybe.
a good idea.
And
That's a good idea.
I'll have a chat with Alex, who's the local man there, and maybe
Thank you,
get him
Daddy.
to come on as
I was
well.
going
And
to say, would he come on?
well, I'll ask him.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So
Yeah, have a word with him. That'd be good.
we'll have a report. See, we're going all day there, so you know.
It'd be interesting to get a report on it because I know people that have been there, but I've never really spoke to them about their experiences. Now, I mean, a couple of people have spoken to me about their experiences there, but it's always
So
good
that'll be next week's subject then. Rendlesham.
we'll do spooky one night, definitely, Catherine. Yeah, Rendell should be good. Yeah. That'd be very good, very good. So
Okay.
I think that's it, guys. We're going to sort of love you and leave you there. Thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. I don't know how it's been for you lot, but it's been a pleasure for us. And we don't really care what it was like for you lot.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night.
Take it easy, guys. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.